Hello and welcome to an awesome video on the Garmin Fenix 7 Pro. I've been using this watch for 6 months now, and these are the top 10 reasons why you should buy it too. So hello and welcome to Active Ideas. This is a video on the Fenix 7 Pro, and this video is 10 reasons why this is one of the best watches that you can buy right now. It's definitely one of the best Garmin's you can get because it's packing all of the top tier features into a 47mm kind of watch facing size. So that means that this is a watch that will suit most kind of people's wrist types, rather than, for example, the Fenix 7X, which is a massive watch. And on my wrist, not only does it kind of look weird, it's really heavy and it's kind of uncomfortable to wear. So in terms of comfort and performance, let's dive into this watch. Okay, so number one is the flashlight feature. I like that you can quickly activate it by double tapping that button up there that says light. When it is on, you can change it to red, you can change it to flashing, you can change it to strobing, and it's really quick and easy to do. So on the widget here, you can go onto the flashlight and you can turn this onto different flashlight modes. You can have it on full brightness, is what I've got it on at the moment. You can adjust the level and turn the brightness down. There are 4 different modes, and then red. I like that you've got this red flashlight as well. For when you're going around camp, if you do want to preserve that kind of night vision, it's really good to have. And as I said, it's very kind of quick to adjust those different modes. We can even use a touchscreen to select those different modes and go straight from red to kind of full brightness if you want. What I also like is I showed that you can quickly access the flashlight, but what you also have is this strobe. So on the strobe, you can get it to kind of blink white, you can get it to blink custom. So I've got this red kind of stroby one, which I think is really good. If you're out doing an ultra and you are by yourself, maybe you can put this red mode on. So yeah, I like that Garmin have separated both the flashlight and the strobe options, and you have a good ability to customize. You can get it on blitz, literally whatever you want, and put it on beacon. And you can even have this to automatically start when you're out on your run, for example. If you want to alert drivers that you're running, you can set it on cadence mode, which will flash white when you're up front and red back behind. So I think it's a very good safety feature, but what I used it for mainly on the spine race and in ultra marathons is just kind of when you're changing batteries for your headlamp, you don't think how dark it can actually get. When you're in pitch black darkness, you go to change the battery to your headlamp and you can't see a thing. So this would be a time when you can quickly activate the watch, get the watch on the batteries, change over your headlight batteries and pop it back on. I've also been for runs where I forgot the headlamp or took the headlamp but not the batteries. It's a really good backup feature to, you know, save you if you run into an issue where for some reason you haven't got a light and you kind of need one. The second feature that I absolutely love about this watch is the comfort. So this is the 47mm watch, and I do think that this Fenix 7 Pro is the best watch you can get. I think the 7S Pro is a little bit too small for most people, and the 7X Pro is a little bit too big. This is the sweet spot. It's really comfortable. I don't know if you've recently watched my Chorus Vertex 2 video. I showed you how on my wrist here and that side as well on the bone, the watch actually made me bleed. So having this watch on, especially with this nylon strap, links in the description, is super comfortable. And yeah, the strap is held up well. It's even more lightweight with this nylon strap on. I forget I'm wearing it, to be honest. It's really lightweight. The case only weighs 50 grams, so once you've chucked a more lightweight strap onto it, you're good to go. You're going to forget about it even being on your wrist. And what I think the main advantage of this is for data collection. So before I had this, I used to have a Fenix 6X, so the 51mm range. And yeah, on my wrist, I'm a dude, I have a bit bigger bone structure, and even then it was just a little bit too heavy, a little bit too uncomfortable, and I didn't really enjoy sleeping in it because I was very aware that I was wearing a heavy watch. This just feels like I'm wearing a Fitbit, a fitness tracker. It's collecting all of my HRV stats, it's collecting all of my sleep duration and my sleep stages, and yeah, my stress levels, my heart rate, all of that good stuff. Unfortunately for us guys in the UK though, not the ECG yet, so hopefully that comes soon. Another reason I love the Fenix 7 Pro is the build quality, and yeah, the build quality is something that my channel's got a lot of views for actually calling out from Garmin. But what I found on the Fenix 7 Pro is that I've absolutely battered this thing, and yeah, I haven't worn a screen protector on it, which is kind of a bold thing considering that I did plan to sell it originally. But I've been wearing this at work where I work in high ropes, scratching it against carabiners, steel cables, and yeah, trees, literally everything. Took it to the spine race where I wasn't kind of cognitively there because I was so sleep deprived, and just scraping it against kind of walls, and there's not really a mark on it. There's a few little dots on the casing. There's not a mark on the sapphire display. It's spick and span. The heart rate sensor is still in fantastic condition. I mean, it just looks like a brand new watch, and I've put 6 months of really heavy use into this, so I'm very impressed. And what that kind of adds on to with the build quality is that if you do come to sell it a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, Garmin do hold their value a bit more like Apple-esque, where on eBay you're going to get a bit of money back to make that next purchase. So yeah, I think it's a watch that you can rely on, so definitely recommend it for that if you're looking for a watch that's got a good build quality and something that you can rely on. The buttons felt great, yeah, no kind of qualms with that really. And number 4 on my list is maps, and what I like about the maps on the Garmin is that I'm not the most confident of explorers when I'm out there doing like these things that I've dreamed of. Going up Penwai Fan, for example, is a bit kind of unheard of for me, and I only kind of got into that into my late 20s, so having this Garmin on my wrist just kind of settles the nerves a little bit when I'm heading out into that kind of remote mountainous area, that if I were to get into trouble, I've got navigation that I can rely on because I'm used to it, but also it's completely independent of the phone. So you can go onto the map, so we'll just do it over here, and you can select navigate, and you can go down and select use map. Say you're on a mountain top, you are using the touchscreen here to scroll around the map, and you go, look, my car's over here, I've had enough, I need to get back. You click on the map where you want to navigate to, and you click go on Garmin, and Garmin's going to calculate turn-by-turn navigation exactly to that destination without using any cellular service. It's actually unbelievable. I just wanted to add, if you want to see a really in-depth Garmin navigation video, check out my Garmin 965 navigation video for everything that you're probably wondering. I've probably covered it. So this Garmin, which took literally about 3 seconds, has loaded the full turn-by-turn navigational route from this location where I'm sat right now to that random location I selected on the map about 6 miles away. Yeah, and it's using roads that are kind of safe to use. It knows roads that are still there, and it's really, really impressive stuff. I think the massive advantage of this is if you're on a route that's dynamic, say for some reason you can't continue along your path because a tree's fallen down and just crushed the bridge, you turn back and you can't go that way either because there's a storm, a lightning storm coming. You can go onto the map, select a distance that's 6 miles to the right of you, for example. It's just going to calculate a safe route to get there, and even without having any phone connection, your phone could be dead, you could be in an area with no cellular connection, which was most of the spine race for me. Just gives you a lot of kind of comfort in that. And if we just go back on to navigate, we've got all these options to navigate of points of interest, so it's going to tell you where the local shops are, navigate to around me, you can navigate to courses, you can navigate to round trip courses, you can go on activities where if you've done a route before and you go, oh, I really like that route, I'd like to do it again, I don't really know where I went, you select the activity, select it again, and it's going to load up that map so that you can go and retrace your footsteps. I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable stuff. We've also got the save locations. If you want to save where your tent is, you've pitched up a tent in the mountains, you have no idea where it actually is in terms of coordinates. You go into save locations, and you can see I've got one here called Tiger, which is 4,000 miles away in Barbados, and you click it and it's going to direct you back there. So just unbelievable stuff from that aspect as well. We've got Sight and Go, where you can go, oh look, there's a cafe down there, I'm currently on a mountain, there's a little forest in between where I might get lost, bang over to the cafe, and the Garmin will keep you on track. You can go old school and pump in some coordinates, and you can also, again, like I said, use the map, which I think is the easiest, is just to scroll through with your finger, click the location, take me there, and it'll calculate it for you. That's number 4 of why you should get a Garmin Fenix 7 Pro. So moving on to the next aspect here is customization. Garmin offer you a lot of customization where you can go into Connect IQ and download different watch faces, and they will appear on here as if it was any other kind of Garmin installed watch face. So here's an example here of a really cool watch face which looks retro. It looks like something out of Drive, which Ryan Gosling would use. I don't know, it looks sick. And even better on a kind of AMOLED screen, which I haven't got at the moment. But yeah, they've got this retro kind of design here with the purple numbers, and it's still very interactive, and I can go back and just quickly change it. Watch face, take me back to what I was on. What was I on? There we go, and it saved all my settings from before exactly how I like it. I can have the temperature settings to be in Fahrenheit or Celsius. I can choose that to be independent of my weather readings just here. I can also, for example, go into the running activity, we'll go into the biking activity, we'll go on to customize. So data screens, we'll make a new one, custom data, and just here we've got Connect IQ fields. So these are fields where I've added them. So I've got a temperature sensor that's from the company Core, which is completely third party. I've been able to download, and I can just add that to the watch face if I want to be part of my bike settings. I really like the customization on the watch where you can change different fields, so I can have something to relay back to me kind of my speed in kilometers per hour or miles per hour. There's just a lot of kind of customization, and you don't have to worry about whether it's imperial or kind of metric units, which, for example, the Coros, you only have one choice. It's imperial or metric, and that affects everything on the watch, and off you go. So I like that. You can add different shortcuts and hotkeys and just basically do with this watch what you want. You can turn touchscreen on and off, you can turn it on for certain activities. The customization is completely up to you. So the number 6 reason that I love this watch is the data. If you're a data nerd like me, you're gonna love being able to dive into whatever you want. I'll show you kind of some of my favorite things, but I do like HRV, I do like the endurance score and the heel score. So if I just quickly show you those. The HRV status, and you can see kind of how I've been over the past week, whether I'm in that balance zone or not. Am I stressed, you know, not just in training, but because of work, because of life. It's going to take all of those things into account in your HRV and help you make a better kind of choice of whether you should train today and how hard you should train during your activity. And we've got the training readiness, which you all know, with training status, but here we've got the endurance score. So you can see, look, how is my endurance score over the past, you know, couple of months? And dive into that. It's going to give you a bit of a breakdown. Your endurance for the last 4 weeks has remained stable. Focus on gradual increases in training volume and number of long workouts to improve this. So not only is it telling me what my endurance score is, but how to improve it. You've got your heel score here, and it's going to be the same. For short and steep climbs, maintain a strong core and pump your arms to generate power. So I like these little things, and you can dive into, if I want to improve my endurance score, I should look at my heel endurance, so the amount of times I spend on hills, the hill strength, so maybe how steep the hills that I'm approaching, and it's got the VO2 max graph here as well. And again, I just like that with Garmin, for example, I can dive in. Yes, my VO2 max is 56, but you can see how it's gone up, down, then it's climbing up again. You can see the progression over time, not just a number that you don't really get much feedback on. Here I can see, all right, 56, but I'm really close to getting to 57 VO2 max, so keep pushing, keep doing what I'm doing. It's obviously working. Whereas kind of the old school where it just goes from one number to another, you don't really know what's happening until it's changed, and that might be too late. You might have lost fitness, you might have gained fitness and pushed yourself too hard. I like here that I'm steadily increasing my fitness levels, and I'm able to visually see that. And again, just in terms of data, if you want to dive into, for example, the heart rate, you can click here and just scoot back and see exactly what your heart rate was at any given moment. And the touch screen and just diving into that data is really easy. There's no need to go onto your phone because it's all accessible on the watch, and it's really easy to do. So number 7 reasons that I love the Garmin Fenix 7 Pro is the multitasking. The multitasking, you can literally hold down this button here. I hope that's the right button because I'm not looking at it, but yeah, it's going to take you to this menu here. And it's almost like on the iPhone when you swipe up and you've got all these kind of windows that you can scroll through and select these different things, okay? So yeah, the exact same thing on the watch. You hold down the bottom back button, it's going to take you to your different windows, exactly like the iPhone. You can go, what did I last look at? Well, just in this video, we've looked at the training readiness, the heart rate, the training status, and you can quickly, with your finger if you want to, scroll through these and just jump straight back in. And I just think the multitasking on this watch is genuinely excellent. I find that it's not just limited to when you're using it in kind of like watch mode, but if I start an activity here, so we'll go onto here and go on to run, I can be halfway through my running activity, looking at my pace, my distance, and go, what was my body battery today? Hold the back button and just scroll down to the body battery, select it, it'll take me right there. Just press back and you'll get back to the activity. One thing you can also do from that menu is you can hold back to get to the multi-window activity, scroll up, it'll take you back to the watch face. So on the watch face you're able to go through all the menus and literally just use this watch as normal. You can go and look at your notifications, for example. You can look at your calendar. Oh look, it's Guy Fawkes night. Practically do whatever you want and then press back and you'll get back to your activity. I also find this useful for navigation, where if you're on a map, if you want to quickly look at the compass, you can have the compass open as like a window and quickly switch between the map to the compass to the barometer to the altimeter, do whatever you want that way. So yeah, the flexibility of using this as a multitasking kind of watch is fantastic, and I would say it's probably leading class in terms of the sports watch industry. But yeah, hopefully companies like Coros and Sunto do get there, because it does feel like with those watches it's kind of like you're either in the activity or you're not, whereas Garmin it's like we'll record in the background and you do whatever you want with the watch in the meantime. Enjoy your activity, it's a good little feature. So number 8 of why I think the Garmin Fenix 7 Pro is an awesome watch is the morning report. So obviously this isn't limited to only the Garmin Fenix 7 Pro. You can get it on different watches now. It's just another feature that if you are buying this watch is really kind of useful. When you wake up in the morning, it's telling you what your HRV status is, or what training you should probably do that day, what the weather's looking like that day. It just really helps you in a real quick glimpse kind of prepare for that day. I think it's not they're not giving you too much information, and you can dive into it if you want. You can look at your different sleep cycles and your sleep stages and your duration and how to improve your sleep, but you can just also look at, oh, I got 8 hours last night, the weather today is 15 degrees and it's Guy Fawkes night, something like that, and then kind of get on with your day. And I think it prepares you nice and quickly. Also, again, getting back to the customization, you can make that morning report look exactly how you like it. So if you wanted to just show what your sleep duration was and your HRV status is, you can just do that and palm off the weather, palm off the calendar, yeah, make it your own. It'll also, on your birthdays, kind of wish you happy birthday. On race day, it will say good luck with your race. It's quite smart, and it's only going to get better. I'm sure they'll start developing AI to work with it, and I think it's a very exciting times for features like morning report. So I've stuck number 9 reasons down as touchscreen and buttons, and I think the reason why is because I think it's really easy to take for granted how easy it is to navigate through this watch. I think it's quite easy to forget how nice it is and how fluid it is to kind of scroll through the screen using the touchscreen. The animations of the scrolling is really good. It's not that the watch is like much more quicker than any other watch on the market, it's just the animations are smooth, and yeah, it's not kind of compromising the battery life. The buttons are really good. What's good on rainy days where you're wearing kind of jackets or long sleeve clothing, I've had kind of that interact with scroll wheels. Yeah, the scroll wheel of the Apple Watch, for example, or the scroll wheel of the Coros, whereas here, just having the buttons, you're not going to have accidental presses. You can turn the touchscreen on and off. You have full flexibility to use the watch completely using touchscreen, or use the watch completely using the buttons, and I think that's really nice. And again, getting back to that customization, it's as easy as holding down that light button to get to this control panel. You can scroll through to wherever the touchscreen is, and you can either turn that off or on, and then obviously do that within an activity if you want. So yeah, you can access that at any moment, and it's very convenient. So the last and 10th reason I think this is an awesome watch is the heart rate sensor. So it's coming with Garmin's new Elevate sensor. You're not going to get that on the Sapphire Solar models, so the slightly cheaper models. This is brand new. It's got the ECG feature if you're in America, and again, if you're in other countries, coming soon. But forgetting ECG, which is nice, it's really cool. The accuracy is unbelievable. So when this is on my wrist and I'm doing my HIIT workouts or my circuit workouts, I'm running on the treadmill, cycling, doing what I do, or even working in my job with the high ropes using my arms a lot, or riding segways, the Fenix 7 Pro is always giving me really accurate data. I look down and it's giving me numbers that are actually right, which is kind of unbelievable for an optical heart rate sensor. And whenever I've worn the heart rate strap and compared the two, it's literally just been beat for beat. So I think this is a massive improvement for people who don't really like to wear chest straps. Maybe they kind of irritate your skin, you just don't like it in general. That's many of us, and having a watch that you can rely on for that data is really good. And again, it's so lightweight and comfortable, you just feel like you're wearing a Whoop strap. Like you forget it's on there, it's getting good data, it's very kind of simple and just works, so that's really nice. I think the only way I was able to stress out this heart rate sensor was when I was using the hiking poles for the spine race and going up a mountain, and it couldn't get the heart rate at all. So yeah, if you're using a lot of hiking or walking poles, trekking poles, maybe skiing, and you're an insane skier, maybe that heart rate sensor isn't going to be good enough for you. But now I think in terms of weightlifting, cycling, running, this is something that you don't really have to wear your heart rate strap for. Still, professional athletes are going to vouch for the heart rate strap. It is perfectly accurate, but yeah, you can just get away with more. And again, it just feeds into all of that data that you are collecting, your training readiness, your VO2 max score. It's all coming from the sensors in the watch. So if you can kind of improve that accuracy a little bit, for example, heart rate during sleep, this is going to be awesome. Or heart rate variability during sleep, you do want a more accurate sensor. You don't want to always be wearing a chest strap. So I think that is a very valid reason to make the list of the top 10, but it's definitely industry leading, it's up there, and I'm very impressed with it. So yeah, thank you for watching a video on the Garmin Fenix 7 Pro. This is the top 10 reasons why to buy it. It's the top 10 reasons why it's the best watch on the market, and definitely the best Garmin on the market. I hope you liked it. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. The more comments, the more likes, the more interaction, yeah, the more views I get and the more videos I can do, so I really appreciate it. Also, I've got a studio being built, so I won't have to film out here freezing my hands off. I'll be able to improve the audio quality, improve the video quality. I keep looking up at the camera because my camera is about 10 years old and it just cuts out all the time. So yeah, it's going to be a step in production quality that's going to make my life easier, but also make content really cool for you guys. But apart from that, this is the Fenix 7 Pro, and peace out. thanks for watching. You know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe if you can. My slogan, dreams are a step away. And remember, show compassion, show esteem, and have fun out there. Peace out.